नेटवर्क को लेकर हम देख रहे हैं किस तरह महाराष्ट्र सरकार और मुंबई पुलिस एक के बाद एक साजिश रच रही है। यही ऐसा ही कुछ सालों पहले भी हुआ था। इमरजेंसी के समय भी ऐसा ही किया गया था। जो कुछ चल रहा है रिपब्लिक के खिलाफ वो गलत है, कहना है देश की वित्त मंत्री निर्मला सीतारमण का। अभिव्यक्ति की आजादी खतरे में है, ये भी कहा निर्मला ने। सुनिए।
इतना सता करके उन सबको जेल भिजवाए। आपको याद भी होगा एक और इंग्लिश न्यूज़पेपर पूरे उनके फ्रंट पेज को ब्लैक करके कुछ और नहीं लिखा था, ये था कांग्रेस के इमरजेंसी टाइम के कुशासन। उसी डीएनए में चलने वाले आज महाराष्ट्र के कांग्रेस के सरकार भी कांग्रेस अलायंस वाले सरकार भी यही तो कर रहे। और मैं इस संदर्भ में विषय बोलना चाहूँ, चाहे वो वामपंथी हो, चाहे वो टुकड़े टुकड़े घोषणा करने वाले एक्सट्रीम वामपंथी हो, या उनको समर्थन देने वाले कांग्रेस हो, इसको जवाब दें जरूर कि इतने सारे अपशब्द माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के ऊपर बोलते आए, माननीय गृह मंत्री जी के खिलाफ बोलते आए, कहीं एक के खिलाफ कुछ एक्शन हुआ है क्या? नहीं। मगर उधर आप ही बोल रहे मीडिया से 1000 लोग तक अरेस्ट करके बैठे हैं महाराष्ट्र में कांग्रेस के अलायंस वाली सरकार। मगर पूरी दुनिया में ये नेटवर्क जो चलती है वामपंथी और कांग्रेस का, भारत में फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन के ऊपर बहुत दबाव है, क्योंकि इस सरकार एक बार जरा सच्चाई तो बाहर आए कि कौन सी सरकार के समय फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन इतना दबाव में। इमरजेंसी जैसे अभी जहां कांग्रेस के कुशासन है महाराष्ट्र, वहां हुआ, ना कि कहीं और। मगर कंपैरिजन करते हैं, वो फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन आज दिक्कत में है। कोई हमारे बीजेपी की सरकार जहां है वहां दिक्कत में कोई नहीं है। दिक्कत है तो कांग्रेस चलाने वाले सरकार जहां भी है वहां है दिक्कत। एक दूसरा इंसिडेंट भी आप शायद मुझे करेक्ट करें, मैं गलत बोल रहा हूं, छत्तीसगढ़ में हुआ एक जर्नलिस्ट का पिटाई। मीडिया के भाई बहन जरा इसके ऊपर सोच लें, कांग्रेस के डीएनए किस हद तक जा सकते हैं फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन को दबाने के लिए। और उनके पूरे कैंपेन का सर्किट, पूरे सर्किट, दुनिया भर के सर्किट लिखते हैं, इतने पन्ने लिखते हैं कि फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन खतरे में है। खतरे में कहां है? जहां कांग्रेस की सरकार है वहां।
Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype online. Each one of you is welcome to this broadcast, this live streaming. What are the methods through which one can transcend beyond dreams? This has been the problems with all the people, how to transcend beyond dreams. It is the question for almost everyone who is meditating, because meditation is really the process of transcending beyond dreams. Dreams are not the ones that you dream while sleeping. Dreams are that you are always inflicted even while waking. You are waking, you are dreaming that you had bought a big house. You pass in front of a big mansion. The dream starts. I wish I could rent here. I could live here. I could buy this condo. I could do this. This is dreaming process. You are constantly dreaming, not only in the night, not only while you are asleep, you are dreaming whole day. This process continues. This is the first point that you have to understand. You are awake, you are walking down the street and still dreaming. You are walking through a shopping mall, you pass in front of the store, any store, the process of dreaming begins. As compared to that, for instance, for your communication, you need a comfortable phone. If you can afford a smartphone or whatever it is a source of communication, you need a laptop. As long as it is working without any problem, why do I have to change it? You need a vehicle that is comfortable because they transport. If you are not in business or office or anything, you can, and the public transport system is very efficient, you do not need a vehicle, but otherwise you need a vehicle. So vehicle which is trouble-free, comfortable, is good enough, doesn't matter how old it is. I recall one day one of my friend came and he said that when he goes back to England, he have to change his house furniture. So I said, how often do you change? He said, every 2 years. I said, in 2 years it gets wear and tear. He said, no, in 2 years new designs and everything come up, so we must change. This is dreaming. which is not the way of the meditators. Problem comes in, someone gives you a problem. Let us consider this. Maybe you can use the ill words against that person, or you can simply say, maybe I had some past karmas which I need to clear. I cleared it. Many of the people in business, I had the problems. I considered it as I have the past karmas which I needed to clear consciously. And when I clear it, my way is never trouble free. My way continues without any problem. You are walking through the aisles of the shopping mall. There are many things. Not everything I can afford. Not everything I need. I need whatever I need. I need for comfortable living. For my business, I need the reliable transport. For communication. And all those who have been source of trouble at one time or the other, it is because of certain past karmas. It would have happened that I would have hurt someone, or I would have helped someone. So it is not necessary that the person who you hurt There was a story which my father used to say. A man was convicted and he killed someone. But because of the lack of evidence, he killed someone. Because of the lack of evidence, he was acquitted. He was acquitted because the court of law works with evidence. Then after some time there was another case where he was not involved in any way, but he was sentenced to death. He was complaining, I did not do this, why do I have to do? The equation has to be balanced. In the past, because of the lack of evidence, you were pardoned when you had committed the crime. This time you did not. But the evidence created the existence, balanced the equation. This is how it goes on in life. If there is awakening, you have no problems. So it is not only that during the sleep, when you are asleep, that you are dreaming. You are continuously dreaming. Dreaming about something. Why do I have to dream about that tomorrow I have to change the car? Or I have to change, a new iPhone has come in the market. I have to buy that. But this present iPhone is working perfectly well. There is no problem or issues with it. And if there are issues, I need to change it. I will immediately change it. There is no need of dreaming. So this you have to understand. This is the first point, that not only in the night you dream while you are asleep, you dream even the day while you are awake. Just close your eyes at any time of the day, relax the body, and you will feel dreaming is going on. It never disappears. It is only suppressed because of the activities that you are involved in. It is like the stars during the day. In the night you see the stars because sunlight is not there. You cannot see them, but they are there. They are simply suppressed by the sunlight. If you go deep, then you will see the stars in the sky are there even during the day. A certain darkness is needed to see the stars. You go into a deep well and look from the bottom. You will be able to see the stars during the day as well, because the stars are there. It is not only in the night they are there 24 hours. In the night you can see them easily. During the day you cannot see because the sunlight becomes the barrier. The same is the case with dreaming. It is not that you dream while you are asleep. In sleep you can feel the dreams easily because the activity of the day which becomes the barrier is no more there. You are not active, the body is relaxed. There is no physical activity at that time. You are asleep. You can feel the dreams. When you get up in the morning, the dreaming continues inside while you are engaged in day-to-day activities, the routine activities. This process of activity simply suppresses the process of dreaming. Dreaming is there. Close your eyes. Sit in the armchair, relaxed. Suddenly you can feel the stars are there. They have not gone anywhere. The dreams are always there. There is a continuous activity of dreaming. This is the first point. The second point, if dreaming continues, you cannot be said to be awake. Dreaming is a state of unconsciousness. You cannot say that you are awake. In the night you are more asleep than during the day. The difference is relative, because in the dreaming, if there is dreaming, you cannot be said to be awake. Dreaming creates a film over consciousness. It blocks the layer of consciousness. This film becomes like a smoke, a cloud of smoke, and you are surrounded by it. You cannot be really awake while you are dreaming, whether it is day or in the night. So the second thing, you can only be said to be awake when dreaming is no more. When dreaming is no more. We call Buddha the awakened one. What is this awakening? Awakening is really the process of cessation of inner dreaming. When the process of dreaming ceases, only then you are awakened. Awakening does not mean you change your garb, put on a long beard, a certain kind of clothes, and the process of dreaming still continues. When the dreams have completely ceased, no dreams within, you move in that space of dreamlessness. It is as if that there are no stars in the sky. There is pure inner space. When there is no dreaming, you become pure empty space. As a person, you can say it is very difficult to be without dreams. As long as there is life, there is dreams. Then don't come to me. I live in the world just like you, but the difference between me and you, this I keep on telling, in order to make my living, either I work somewhere or I create my own job. When I am creating my job, I look at my resources and what are the opportunities available to me, choose that and try to create my living. So for that, whatever it is needed, you do it. Now, you have, for instance, I give you my own example. In order to make my living, where the living of my son is also involved, so we open an Indian grocery. He is talking about how to expand and this and that, how to open new branches. So I said, first and the foremost thing is this place is open, get your foot set here. When this is done, you have the enough income coming out of it, and if you have time and the need be arises, then you do. My purpose behind this was to make my comfortable living. Why do I have to change? Because it is important for me to make my living, rather than that I am a guru, so people have to give me every month they have to give me the donation, as happens in case of the priesthood. A certain amount of income has to be given and they do not work. They get their income out of the donations of the people and make their living out of that. No. My purpose is I make my living out of my own efforts and then continue to do my work, whatever it is possible within my means. Whosoever comes, you do not have to pay for anything. So we call Buddha the awakened one. What is this awakening? Awakening is really the cessation of the inner dreaming. There is no dream inside. I go to work every day. Whatever is needed to be worked, certain items have finished, yet to buy it, I order it. This is part of my work, it's not dreaming. You move there is no dreaming, as if there was never any star in the sky. It has become a pure space. There is no more dreaming. You become pure, empty space. This purity, this innocence, this non-dreaming consciousness is what is known as Enlightenment Awakening. For centuries, spirituality all over the world, east or west, wherever it is, has said that man is asleep. Jesus says this, Buddha says this, Upanishad talks about it, and Upanishad uses a phrase Uttishta Jagrat. You can wake up, but you can turn your side and go to sleep. So Uttishta, get up and awake. Man is asleep. So while you are asleep in the night, you are really more asleep. During the day, you are less asleep. But spirituality says the man is asleep. This has to be understood. What is meant by this? Gurdjieff used to say, that the fact is man is asleep. He said man is a sort of sleep. Everyone is asleep deeply. What is the reason for saying this? You cannot know. You cannot remember who you are. Do you know who you are? If you meet a person in the street, you ask him who is, he cannot reply. What will you think? You will think that he is either mad or intoxicated or just asleep. If he cannot answer who he is, what are you going to think about him? On the spiritual path, everyone is like that. You cannot answer who you are. This is the first meaning when Gurdjieff or Jesus or anyone says that man is asleep. You are not conscious about yourself. You do not know yourself. You have never encountered yourself. You know many things in the objective world, but you do not know anything of the subjective subject. Your state of mind is as if that you had gone to see a film. On the screen, the film is running, and you have become absorbed in it, that the only thing that you know is the film, the story, whatsoever is appearing on the screen. Then if someone asks you who you are, you cannot answer. Dreaming is just the film. It is the mind reflecting the world. The mirror of the mind, the world is reflected. In the mirror of the mind, the world is reflected, and that is what dreaming is all about. So it is your mind becomes the mirror, and in the mirror it reflects the world. So that is what dreaming is all about. And you are so deeply involved in it, so much identified with it, that you have completely forgotten who you are. This is what being asleep means. The dreamer is lost in the dreaming. The subject is completely immersed in the object. You see everything As you are going through the shopping mall, you see the shops filled with this various kind of stuff, new smartphones, new laptops, and so many other things. You're seeing all this. Your mind has become the mirror to reflect all this. But what your mind is not capable of reflecting is your own being. You see everything except yourself. You feel everything except yourself. You know everything except yourself. This self-ignorance is sleep. Unless dreaming ceases completely, you cannot awaken unto yourself. You might have felt it sometimes while looking at the film for 3 hours, and suddenly the film stops and you come back to yourself. You remember that 3 hours have passed. You remember that it was just a film. You feel your tears. You have been crying because the film was a tragedy to you. Or you were laughing, or you were doing something else, and now you laugh about yourself. What nonsense you were doing. You were just watching a film, a story. There was nothing on the screen, just a play of light and shadow, just an electrical play. Now you laugh. Now you have come back to yourself. But where were you those 3 hours? You were not at your center. You have moved completely from the center to the periphery. There, where the film was showing, where the film was taking place, that's where you were on the periphery. You were not at your center. You were not up yourself. You were somewhere else. This is the state of dreaming. This happens in dreaming. This is what your life is. The film is only for 3 hours, but this dreaming continues for lives and lives and lives. Even if suddenly the dreaming stops, you will not be able to recognize who you are. Suddenly you will feel afraid and you may faint. You will try to move again into the film because this is your known world. You are acquainted with it. Your life is adjusted to it. For when the stopping of the dream happens, there is a path. Particularly in Zen, which is known as path of sudden enlightenment. There are techniques in these 112 methods. They are the techniques which can give you a sudden awakening, but it can be too much, and you will not be able to bear these. You may just explode. You may die even because you have lived with dreams for so long that you have no memory of who you are if there is no dreaming? If this whole world should suddenly disappear and you are alone left, it would be a shock and you may die. The same would happen if suddenly all dreamings disappear from the consciousness. The world would disappear because your world is nothing else but your dreaming. You are not really the world, rather the world consists not of outside things to us, but of our dreams. So everyone lives in his own dream world. You are living in your dream world. You have a liking for these kind of things. You are a lover of the vehicles. So these are you have all the information about it. Someone is about the food industry, so he'll talk about those. So everyone lives in his own world of dreams based on his choices. Remember, there is not one world that we go on talking about. Geographically, it may be one world, but psychologically, there are as many worlds, as many minds are there. Each mind has its own world. And if your dreaming disappears, your world will disappear. Not mine. Without dreams, it is very difficult for you to live. That is why sudden methods are not used generally. Only gradual processes given to you to attain to awakening. It is good to know that gradual methods are used not because they are the needs of the gradual process. You can suddenly jump into realization this very moment. There is no barrier to it. There has never ever been a barrier. You are already that realization. You can jump this very moment. But that may prove dangerous. You may not be capable of bearing it because it is going to be too much for you. You are attuned only to false dreams. Really, you cannot face, you cannot encounter it. You are living in your dreams, and they help you in many ways. They are not just dreams. For you, these are the reality. Gradual methods are used not because realization needs time. Realization needs no time. Realization does not need time at all. Realization is not something to be attained in future. Instead, it can happen any time. With gradual methods, you will attain in future. So what the gradual methods are doing, they are not really helping you to realize. Gradual methods, remember, are not helping you to realize the realization. They are helping you to bear it. They are making you capable and strong so that when it happens, you can bear it. There are 7 methods through which immediately you can force yourself into the way of enlightenment. But you will not be capable of bearing it. You may go blind because too much light, or you may suddenly die because of too much bliss. This dreaming, this deep sleep that you are in, how can it be transcended? This I will continue in tomorrow's session. Because it cannot finish in a shorter. This is an introduction which I have given you, and then continue with this process. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again, take care and do have a pleasant day.